Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
JP Morgan is blatantly lying about XRP being adopted via Ripple's on-demand liquidity and the degree to which it has been adopted, and seems to be very confused about why crypto markets, in terms of pricing, why crypto markets move the way that they do. This is a clear swipe at Ripple, and I'll have none of it. So thankfully, this is one of those instances where I'm very appreciative of the fact that I have this platform, so that when people say untruths about Ripple and XRP specifically, I can go ahead and correct the record. So I'm going to go ahead and run through this, and then we will place this particular report in the Moon Lambo wood chipper and hopefully never speak of it again. And why would this executive be lying specifically about RippleNet and XRP? Well, I'll just tell you here at the outset of the video, it's speculation. I speculate that it's because JP Morgan is competing with Ripple outright. They have a centralized what do you call it, cryptocurrency. They have a centralized digital asset called JPM coin. So, surprise, surprise. But look, before digging into this, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Oh, and by the way, because I always love to give credit where it's due, I actually happened upon this article as I was scrolling through my Twitter feed because my fellow XRP YouTuber Crypto Eddie shared it and had some things to say about it. I'll share her comments on that in just a second. Also, Ripple employee Matt Hamilton jumped in, had something to say about this, as did attorney John Deaton, so plenty to cover here. Now, the report from the JP Morgan analyst resulted in this headline from Finance Feeds. Why is Ripple's XRP so correlated with Bitcoin? JP Morgan report answers. Let's go ahead and jump right in. It's just gonna be a killer time here. A JP Morgan report has delved into some unanswered remittance questions, including the ripple effect. The blockchain specialist has connected to more and more banks, but the price of XRP continues to follow Bitcoin. That observation remains true today, as the price of Bitcoin shows signs of recovery following weeks of downward pressure. Actually, let me pause to state this before I forget this. Because one of the things you'll see as we go through, and they already kind of touched on it here, one of the things highlighted in this article is that the price of XRP and Bitcoin are highly correlated, incredibly, insanely highly correlated. And that's true, actually. Of course, it's also the case that the entire crypto market moves in tandem. But, funny enough, just with JP Morgan pointing this out, funny enough, this helps Ripple's legal defense against the SEC, because XRP moves in tandem with the rest of the crypto market. So think about this. This isn't some sort of fly-by-night entity. This is JP Morgan, and even they are acknowledging that despite what Ripple does, the price action here is just moving with what Bitcoin does. So again, from a legal perspective, that helps. So I don't know if this is something that would ever get brought up in court. It's just another thing you could touch on. But all the evidence makes it super clear that is indeed the case. So I just thought I'd mention it before I forget. But anyway, the piece continues. The positive mood is fueling general optimism in the cryptocurrency market, with the majority of digital assets following suit. Bitcoin is trading at $42,700, and XRP is trading at 75 cents at the time of writing. Yeah, by the way, at the time I'm recording this, XRP is just a hair shy of 87 cents. Worth mentioning. XRP's been having a good couple of days, has it not? Don't mind seeing that. But anyway, then there's this little subheading: few Ripple partners using XRP for cross-border payments. See, this is the part where we get into the blatant lie. Ripple reported 5-fold growth in remittance transactions from between 2019 and 2020. But if that's the case, why is Ripple still trading so closely with Bitcoin as shown below? Wouldn't Ripple's separate and distinct use case result in a separate and distinct return profile from Bitcoin? That's a quote from Michael Kimbalest. They have the name spelled wrong here. Here's his profile on LinkedIn. Michael Kimbalest or Symbolist, I don't know how to say this. But here you see he's a chairman of market and investment strategy. So a couple things wrong here. He's conflating Ripple with XRP. He said Ripple is trading so closely with Bitcoin. No, Ripple is not trading closely with Bitcoin. Ripple is a company. XRP is the cryptocurrency, which is what you actually were referencing there, and you called it the wrong thing. And still, you've got all these things to say about XRP. It's just amazing to see these people in high positions writing reports that are influential to many, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. It's fascinating to see this. What a time we live in. But as far as the growth, there's been tremendous growth with RippleNet utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. As far as it moving together, how are you that high up at JP Morgan writing this report and you don't recognize that the entire crypto market moves together because it's in its nascency? How have you not figured out that people don't know where to put their money because the market's so young? All you have to do is draw upon history to figure this out. How did people behave during the dot-com boom and bust? Everything that had a dot-com, money's just thrown at it. There are all sorts of companies that decided to throw a dot-com on their name just for a money grab. It had nothing to do with fundamentals. Why would you? Because that's because the internet was in its nascency. Why would you think that crypto in its nascency would be any different? Because all the evidence in the world shows it's not different. It's the same. Want further evidence? Hey, what do you know? It's on my screen, which means your screen right now. Here are the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap. As usual, I must state to throw out the stablecoins, which are USDT and USDC, because they're always worth $1. But look at all the other cryptocurrencies. Here's the weekly charts for all of them. They look the same. In fact, the only one that looks different at all is XRP, because it's going on a run lately, which happens from time to time. Sometimes, look, there are always outliers. Like Chainlink went on a crazy run. I mentioned this the other day. Chainlink, for like a 2-year period, roughly, I think, maybe a year and a half, whatever it was, year and a half, two years, during the crypto bear market, it just rocketed in terms of price, and pretty much nothing else was. So there are outlier instances, and on shorter time frames, you do see instances like this where, fine, yes, XRP is tremendously running, love to see it, and other cryptocurrencies are frankly not running as much. They're moving in tandem with Bitcoin. But look at this. They're all moving together. It's not about fundamentals. This is obvious. This is like crypto 101 stuff we're talking about here. And this guy's writing a report for JP Morgan as an executive, and he's just baffled by this. There's nothing baffling about this, folks. There's absolutely nothing surprising about this. Anyway, piece continues. The answer may come as a surprise, but it seems that most financial services firms are not using Ripple's XRP to execute cross-border payments. And here's a quote. From what we can tell, Ripple has been working with banks to help them build infrastructure to make cross-border payments, but few are using Ripple's actual cryptocurrency to execute them. That's the quote. First of all, XRP is not Ripple's cryptocurrency. It's just a decentralized cryptocurrency. Ripple owns a bunch of it. It's not Ripple's. Ripple doesn't own the XRP ledger or just the nature of XRP. It doesn't. XRP Ledger is a decentralized platform. XRP is a decentralized cryptocurrency. This is a matter of fact. And so this author, Michael here, doesn't even seem to grasp that. And so here's a good time to jump in and share with you what a few within the community have to say about this. Here's a tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Eddie. JP Morgan takes a swipe at Ripple and XRP. Michael Symbolist didn't do his homework, or he did his homework and feels the need to spread FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then she wrote, fact, XRP on-demand liquidity transactions in Q3 of 2021 accounted for 25% of total dollar volume across the network. And so what do you think's more likely? He didn't do his homework, or he wants to paint a narrative? Well, again, fine, it's speculation, fine. What do you think is more likely here? It's hard to believe that somebody is this clueless. It really, because look, they're in direct competition with Ripple. They're going to fail, like relative to what Ripple can do, because they're developing a walled garden, but they are a competitor still. And so here, Ripple employee Matt Hamilton responded to that and wrote, indeed, it is very clearly stated here that on-demand liquidity traffic, i.e. XRP, accounted for 25% of United States dollar volume traffic in that quarter. And he linked to this. This piece from October 29th, 2021, written by Ripple employee Craig DeWitt, titled On-Demand Liquidity Sees Record Growth and Traction in 2021. And I'm not going to read anything other than this bullet point right here. On-demand liquidity transactions in Q3 accounted for 25% of total dollar volume across the network. Folks, that's a huge percentage. Consider that 2.5 years ago, this technology didn't exist, or at least it wasn't public. There was there were pilots being done prior to that, testing it a bit. But this wasn't launched until I believe was the beginning of October 2018. Wait, if it was 18, I think that's correct, then it would be a little less than 3.5 years, actually. Well, whatever it is, I'd have to double check. I'm not gonna do that right now while I'm recording, but you get either way, whichever year it was, whether it was 2018 or 2019, and I'm thinking 2018. I'm pretty sure it's 2018. Either way, the point is it hasn't been around that long, and cryptocurrencies, my gosh, they're not sufficiently liquid, and there's still regulatory concerns in various parts of the world, and still a quarter of the transactions are settling utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. Well, that's incredible. And here's a tweet from attorney John Deaton on this topic, and he said, "Any report on Ripple or XRP by JP Morgan must be taken with a grain of salt, considering JPM coin competes with XRP. Ripple chose quite possibly the most difficult use case for XRP, disrupting a half-century legacy banking system built on profiting from friction. Adoption takes time." Yeah, he's absolutely nailing that. John Deaton's hitting that point out of the park, absolutely. And so let me go through a little bit more of this article. Here's another subheading: why aren't they powering payments with XRP? The follow-up question is why Ripple's network has not moved to XRP as its standard process for executing cross-border payments. The JP Morgan report doesn't answer that question, but there is more than one potential reason for the slow institutional adoption. Look, before I read that any further, and I'll tell you what they had to say, let me tell you the real reasons here. Again, it's basically what I just cited. In certain corners of the world, there's not sufficient regulatory clarity, and on top of that, markets are illiquid. You're talking about SWIFT. Via the SWIFT system, there's settlement taking place. SWIFT facilitating, of course, the messaging, and then the settlement takes place to the tune of somewhere in the neighborhood of like $5 trillion per day internationally. $5 trillion. Like, you don't have the train tracks properly set for that money to move. Corridors aren't even sufficiently open, and even if there were, there's not enough money moving around. So. This isn't me blasting Ripple or XRP. It's amazing what they've developed to this point, but this takes time. It doesn't just like snap of a finger happen. I do believe you'll reach a point where things increase at even more of an exponential pace, but all of this takes time, and Ripple can't control how liquid crypto markets are. It's if they're liquid, then transactions can occur. It depends on the blend of price and liquidity, with liquidity being more important than price, of course. But this all takes time. And it's just so obvious. It's amazing to me that some of these people are not figuring this out on their own, or they're just being disingenuous and lying, right? Anyway, piece continues. This is completely absurd. We're going to have to correct this. First, processing speed. Oh, this really grinds my gears, folks. The report includes an image sourced from a November 2020 document by Zorba et al. At Hacettepe University, I don't know how to say that, with the capabilities of some distinguished financial infrastructures. Let me pause. The very next sentence I'm about to read literally doesn't make sense, but I'm going to read it as written and then we'll just dissect it. But this is a complete failure, I think, by the author of the Finance Beats piece, to be honest with you here. But here's what they wrote. While Bitcoin and Ethereum execute 7 and 15 transactions per second, respectively, Ripple executes 1,500, which makes it a clear winner against, for example, EOS, and it's 8,000 transactions per second. Okay, so setting aside the fact that they conflated Ripple and XRP there, they wrote that XRP, what they meant is XRP anyway, is the clear winner against EOS, which has, I don't know why they brought up EOS, but EOS offers 8,000 transactions per second, they claim. Well, XRP's 1,500 is less than that, so if those numbers are accurate, why are they stating that it makes XRP the clear winner? Now, I looked up this, I did a minimal amount of research. I found a website, this from Blockchain Council, which should be reputable, and they state that EOS can handle 4,000 transactions per second, still more than XRP. Here's the deal, folks. As far as RippleNet is concerned, which is separate from XRP, I can't remember if it was from Matt Hamilton, somebody was sharing information stating that Ripple can basically already right now handle millions of transactions per second. Now that's separate from XRP. As far as XRP, layer 1, 1,500 transactions per second. But as it turns out, via payment channels, you can effectively just batch together payments. So, which basically means that instead of one transaction going through and counting as one of the 1,500 per second, you can clump a bunch into that one. So then a bunch go through as that one of 1,500. And then you can basically scale as a result of that by batching all of those together. You can scale, in theory, infinitely. That's what I've gathered. In fact, Ripple employee Matt Hamilton has talked about it. He's been talking about that for years. And he's not the only one. So that's why people at Ripple are not concerned about the 1,500 transactions per second. When you batch them together, you can have a bunch of transactions effectively count as one transaction. They just go through it once. And that's it in a nutshell. Now, I'm not a tech guy. I can't go into the nuts and bolts of it any further. But that is what I learned that years ago, actually. But in a nutshell, that's the easiest way for me to explain that here. And then they write the following. Ripple, however, still pales against established infrastructures like Visa and PayPal. According to the figures provided, Visa executes 45,000 transactions per second, PayPal executes 56,000 transactions per second. This only goes to show that Ripple still has many established competitors in the cross-border payments technology space. Those figures, however, were obtained in November 2020. A lot has happened since then. Yeah, so the author get completely oblivious to the fact that Ripple net transactions are actually greater than that, and XRP transactions can scale virtually infinitely. So it's not a problem. It legitimately is not a problem, not even almost. And we're not even near tapping out even the 1,500 transactions per second, so it's not something that needs to be addressed at this point in time. And then they go on to also cite that the lawsuit with the SEC could potentially be a problem as well. And I just say that's a bunch of nonsense, because after XRP created about 16 or 17 cents in December of 2020, just several months later in April 2021, it rocketed up to $2. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. And then you saw it go back down to about 50 cents, and then it went back over $1, and then back down to 58 cents or whatever the hell it got down to, and now it's at 86 cents. It has nothing to do with the SEC case. Not a damn thing to do with the SEC case. So just thought I'd go ahead and point that out. But as far as JP Morgan Coin and what they're doing here, they're not a global solution. And you can see here's JP Morgan's official website. JP Morgan creates digital coin for payments. And this is how they describe their own coin, which they announced in 2019. JPM Coin is a permissioned shared ledger system that serves as a payment rail and deposit account ledger, enabling participating JP Morgan clients to transfer US dollars held on deposit with JP Morgan. Think about that. On deposit for their customers. So here's the thing. In order to use JPM Coin, you have to be a client. You have to be within their closed network. How JP Morgan, I got there are over 1,000 financial institutions on the planet. So JP Morgan, let me ask you, how are you going to get all 11,000 of those financial institutions in your little walled garden? How are you going to get them all to trust you? Because trust is at the core of this. Trust. Why would they say, okay, well, counterparty risk, but hey, JP Morgan, gigantic, we could trust them, they'll be fine. What about geopolitical differences? What about banks in other corners of the world? Why would they want to have money locked up with you or anything of the sort? Why would they want to trust you and your coin, which is a permission coin, meaning you have control over it. It's not traded on open markets. Nobody can buy the damn thing. So it's not its value. It's not based on speculation. It's just based on dollars in the bank, effectively. So that's just such a key difference with XRP. The reason it solved the problem here is because nobody has control over XRP. Nobody has special permissions over the XRP ledger. It is decentralized. You don't have to worry about somebody trying to scam you or manipulate the system or anything like that. It removes the trust issue. So if you want to solve the problem on a global scale, that's what you need to do. You need to just remove the issues of, well, the counterparty risk. That's it. That's exactly what we're talking about right here. And so they're getting traction. In fact, most recently, here's a headline from January 10th of this year, 2022, from Cointelegraph. Central Bank of Bahrain trials JP Morgan's blockchain and tokens. So that's fine. Get as many people in your little walled garden as you can, but your little walled garden doesn't connect with anyone else on the planet. So you still need a bridge currency to connect it. That's what XRP is positioned for. So even if a number of walled gardens find success to some degree and they actually persist for decades or longer, however long it may be, you still need something to bridge the walled gardens. That's XRP. And most financial institutions won't be part of any walled garden. It's not going to make sense. So that's where we're at right now. It is what it is, folks. And by the way, Goldman Sachs, worth mentioning this too. Here's a headline from Bloomberg, and I covered this in a recent video, so I'll be brief with this. Goldman Sachs says don't look for its stablecoin anytime soon. So Goldman Sachs, they announced, like 7 years ago, their Settle coin, which is going to do the same thing as JP Morgan coin. They gave up on it. Take a look at this. Goldman Sachs Group Inc. said that while it's exploring creating a stablecoin with partners, the introduction of a digital currency, if any, remains a ways off. And here's a quote from a spokeswoman named Maeve Du Valley. "We have no immediate intention of creating a Goldman Sachs coin. We continue to see value working closely with private institutions looking to create a ubiquitous stablecoin that meets legal and regulatory requirements and has transparent governance." That's officially from Goldman. So their Settle coin is dead. Bank coin dead. They're not doing it.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.